People are our business, and we're very proud of the recognition we have received as a company from various sources as a leading hirer of diversity staff, and also as LinkedIn's most in-demand employers for Europe, North America, and MENA. CH2M, is anybody familiar with our company at all? A couple people have heard about it. We are an engineering company. We were started in 1946 by 3 engineers and a professor, and they had 4 really simple goals. Take care of our clients, do good work, do right by our employees, and stay true to our integrity and honesty. Yes, we're engineers, and we still can be innovative. So what made us realize that we needed to change the way we were doing our marketing and employment branding specifically? We saw that we had a gap between our employees, our applicants, and our clients and customers, and our corporate value proposition. Over the years, we grew significantly through acquisition, and by 2014, it was estimated that about 50% of our employees had been with the company for less than 5 years. So we had a complete culture shift, and our brand wasn't staying relevant, and neither was our messaging. We really had to do something new to make ourselves more, resonate more with our current employees and our clients. So based on the research by Simon Sinek, Start With Why, has anybody read that book? It's fabulous. We used his premise that you really need to get down to the why of your organization. Lots of companies can tell you what they do. You know, we make computers, we make cars, we build bridges, but not why they're doing it. It isn't about the money. It isn't about your products. Those are the results of what you do. It's really about why you do it. So in order to figure out that why, you have to really get down and get personal. And once you have that figured out, you can develop your company's overall value proposition. So we chose to not keep our employment brand separate from our corporate brand, but to evolve those into one overall value proposition. The first thing that we did is we determined what those attributes are of our company that make us unique. What is our truth? And then we defined our audiences. So are these technical leads? Are these candidates? And which of the attributes of our company are going to be attractive to these audiences? And that's how we determine the content that we feed to the audiences we're trying to reach. And based on the audience, we will either amplify or turn down those attributes in our messaging and in our tone. I guess a good example would be, I love to do jigsaw puzzles. My friends don't like me because I like to do jigsaw puzzles. My boss doesn't care if I like to do jigsaw puzzles. That isn't why he hired me. So I don't talk about that when I'm at work. I talk about recruiting and recruiting operations. I turn down that puzzle, that drive to solve problems, and turn up the other attributes that I have that are more relevant for my work. So what came out of this all? We went from our visual brand of CH2M Hill to a new updated purple brand of CH2M. We found that with audiences, CH2M Hill was too complicated. We decided to drop the hill off. He didn't do anything to make anybody mad, probably paying off his family, but our new logo was pretty cutting edge for an old engineering firm. Not only did we have a new female CEO, but we changed our brand to a completely purple, brand that seemed, not to resonate so well with some of the older engineers, but the younger crowd really liked it, and I love it. We really used to talk very, very specifically about the work we do, and we would represent ourselves by showing cranes, showing bridges, pictures of the Panama Canal. But now we've turned to really focusing on our people. because our people are what make the brand. And it's really about, an experience-focused design, making sure that people connect with our content. So how do we push this out? I cannot stress enough the importance of partnering with marketing and communications. We presented together and got a seat at the table with the executives for the first time when we partnered with marketing and communications. We demonstrated the return on investment that we would give by having an overall value proposition. We partnered with them on the selection of our brand agency and developed the OVP with them. Because we had some shared thought leadership and we got that seat at the table, we can really leverage what we know and what they know to be more effective than we could only on the employment branding side or only on the corporate marketing side. It's really critical. So those audiences that I talked about earlier, we developed our personas to be very specific. Whether it is a decision maker or a technical lead or new talent, we wanted to know that we understood who our audiences were and direct content to them specifically. The chances of somebody coming to your website by chance and just automatically finding a job are pretty slim, but they're going to be better if you know who you're targeting and your content is written appropriately. So Amit is our persona for talent acquisition. At the moment, Amit represents, our employee referrals, our alumni, our graduates, our engineers, our craft and skilled workers. But what we did when we really dove down into his persona was make sure we understood where's he hanging out, what devices does this type of person use, what websites is he probably going to consult. CEB recently did a webinar about the importance of branding for influence. So once you have figured out your attributes, your audiences, and what your brand is going to depict, you really need to be influential in passing that message on to the public. And traditionally, companies have really touted, we're a great place to work, come work with us, and used a lot of, recently, social media, which we still do. But we're changing our approach a little bit more. We are actually asking our candidates to think about whether CH is a place that's right for them or not. Self-selecting out is a good thing. You don't want to get too far down the road with candidates that aren't relevant. And we are really focusing on message-driven outreach. So, using our employees to push the messaging out. So we executed our brand with several different recruiting marketing partners. And the first thing that we did was come up with the Bible of our brand. We call it the blueprint. It has everything about our tone of voice, our messaging, how to depict it, what pictures you can use. So we are consistent across the board. Your brand needs to permeate and be very consistent in every single place that you're touching your candidates, from your career site to your social media, your job marketing, and also to your talent networks. You need to be extremely cohesive and have the same messaging across all of these so that your candidates recognize you. It comes through as more authentic when the messaging is consistent. You don't need to overwhelm them with a lot of facts about your company. You just need to be genuine. We took our website, overhauled it, and created an integrated brand experience. We wanted to make sure that people could interact with our brand on our website as deeply or as superficially and as they wanted to. It's like we didn't want to ask them to marry us on the first date. We wanted to just give them a little bit of information at a time, and as they are repeat visitors or as they dive down to other pages, give them opportunities to gather information in their own way. So we really focus on targeted content, a personalized experience based on those personas and our attributes, very easy job search, and improved capture for our talent networks. It's really important that if somebody isn't going to come and go through your whole application process the first time they visit you, that you're at least capturing that talent for your talent networks. We also make sure that our messages are very personalized, that, is this job for you? Maybe not. Maybe you'd like to look at something similar, and we sprinkle many, many employee stories and project stories along the way. We have dedicated pages for military, for our skilled labor and crafts, and also for our students. And again, the employee stories are really front and center. You can look at as many of them as you want, and we are constantly adding to those. We also, in an effort to build our talent communities and really carry our brand, give many opportunities to interact with us in different ways. So you can search for a job if you're really interested in working for us right now, or you can stay in touch with us on social media, or you can join our talent network. So we really want our candidates to be thinking about CH and how it's relevant to them at that time. So a key takeaway here is ensure that your brand is coming through comprehensively, everywhere, through your career site, and make sure your content is really easy to find and navigate. In the social media spectrum, we did, not only did we comprehensively change our name and our look and feel, and we moved from our cranes to people, but we had to rebrand on social media as well. We updated on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and had our social templates all be very consistent with our new brand. We couldn't have one place look different from another place. We had to have that consistency. And so we redesigned our social presence to really communicate who we are. We want people to understand what type of people work at CH and want them to engage with us. We listen to our audience. They don't want to just hear about what a great company we are, and yes, our stories of building the London Olympic Village are very interesting, but we know they want some humor. They want to hear about us, but they also, it's not going to resonate if we're just bragging about the things that we do. We need to really think about what kind of content do people want to see. We have a really well-developed employee influencer program. One of the things that I mentioned before was messenger-driven outreach. So creating your brand ambassadors out of your employees sounds like it'd be very easy, but you have to really think it through. We had a program called the Game Changers when we changed our brand, and we had 900 employees volunteer to be a game changer. And we had a Follow the Sun campaign that started in Australia, and they had purple wigs on, and they were owning the brand. In Dubai, they made purple hijabs for our female employees to wear to work. And as the sun rose across the world, there was generated more and more excitement about the brand. They were tweeting about the brand, and they were very excited. By the time it got to the United States and Alaska, everybody was on board and very excited about what the other regions had done. They owned it, and they could do what they wanted in their region. So we started with that great kickoff, and now we're perpetuating our employee involvement by using LinkedIn Elevate and teaching our employees how to use it, how to develop their profiles, giving them content through Yammer to push out to their networks, things that are relevant to them. Be comprehensive, leverage your employees, and listen to your audience. Now, job marketing has really come a long way since I've been recruiting for 25 years. We're not just doing the traditional job boards any longer, are we? We're really looking at a more holistic approach. People are communicating not only on social media and their career site, but employee referrals, are typically about 30% of a well-developed company's hires. Advertising and peer review sites like Glassdoor are very important, and as well as your talent network. You really need to use a CRM and really push information throughout your talent network. candidates will look at between 12 and 18 sources of influence before they decide to accept a job. So you must know how you're standing on Glassdoor, Vault, Indeed, comments on your own website, et cetera. So here's a sample path. As I apply for a job, I get a LinkedIn alert, and it says, oh, here's a job you might be interested in, Amy. So I look at it, it's kind of interesting. Go to Facebook, check it out. Then I start to look deeper and deeper and deeper. And then when I get to the offer stage, I check out Glassdoor. Or maybe I'm not really sure I want to apply and get my name out there, so I want to see what type of company this is, what their employees are saying. And then I go and actually apply on the website through the ATS. So who usually gets the credit for that hire in the ATS? Bueller? The last point of entry, right? So initially, I may have come through LinkedIn, but Glassdoor will be tracked because that's the last point of entry. So remember that there are many sources of influence. So you need to really critically look at your data, okay? Track all of the touch points. Use something like Google Analytics or a SmashFly to really understand where your candidates are coming from and which avenues they're touching before they get to you, and spend your money accordingly. How do you build those talent pipelines? Well, recruiting drop-off is a huge issue. About 74% of applicants who apply drop off before they complete your application, and you can track your drop-off rate. And so if they're not going to go all the way through the applicant process, what you do want to do is you want to capture them. You want to be able to influence them and engage with them before you lose them. So there's so many different technologies that we're using to attract this talent. You need to really push all of your traffic sources into your CRM, into your custom-built integrated site. We happen to use SmashFly for this, and we are able to track where everybody is coming from and what the true source of hire is, as well as the sources of influence. And we were able to redirect $750,000 of wasted spend to those avenues that were really working for us. Leverage your brand to build relationships. We had close to 300,000 new contacts added to our talent network, into our CRM, that capturing, in 2015. So that was just the talent network, that wasn't applicants. 59% of those opted in through branded channels. In addition, we like to get the most out of the technologies that we use. We use our reference checking systems, which is actually a skill survey, to feed our talent network. And it goes into our SmashFly CRM. So as we're collecting behavioral-based references on our candidates, we let the references opt into our talent network. So now we have people like our candidates automatically feeding into our talent network and growing it organically that way. Always provide lots of options to engage with your company outside of just applying. Capture now, convert them later. Content is the bane of our existence. Does anybody have any challenges gathering content? Yes? We're always chasing content. We need lots of it. We want it from our business groups. We want it from our employees. We want it from other industry experts. And so it's a constant gathering of information. And because we partner so closely with marketing and communications, we make sure that we leverage content across the board. So if we're making a video in Saudi Arabia of our employees on a particular project, we make sure that we sprinkle in questions about not only their employee experience, but also about that project and about things that CH2M is doing. So we can splice that video up and use it many different ways. We do the same thing when our CEO does an interview. We make sure that we ask her questions about her, her value of her people, and we cut that up and make sure that we can use it for multi-purposes. Our Talent Connection newsletter is what we send to our talent network that we continue to nurture. And we've had really good success in sending that out through our CRM. We currently have 113,000 subscribers. And we're way above, well, I say way because I like to take credit for it, industry average for click-through rates and for opens. And on average, we get about 400 new applicants from our newsletters, from our talent network each month. So remember, we were capturing them and we are converting them later. But don't be too direct with your passive candidates. Don't try to shove an application down their throat. Don't ask them to marry you on the first date. But it's all well and good. How do you know if it's actually being effective? You can put all these efforts into it. What should you be measuring? You really need to be measuring the source of influence of your hire, as well as the last point of contact in your ATS, the health of your talent network, so those talent communities, how many people are coming in, are they engaging, are they opening up your emails, et cetera. Your career site traffic is very important. Your brand sentiment rating, so that could be your LinkedIn engagement levels and brand sentiment, and also your cost metrics. We measure with an integrated funnel. So we use LinkedIn, Google Analytics, SmashFly, as well as Taleo, our ATS, to track our efforts. Make sure that you are measuring all the time, consistently and critically. Don't take for granted the numbers that you get from one source, because you might find, when you dig a little bit deeper, that you might have a much wider reach than you think you do. Here's our cold hard facts. Since we changed brand in September and relaunched, we've had a 41% increase in monthly visitors to our career site. And our social traffic has increased 50%. Of course, our mobile traffic is increasing. We're more mobile optimized. It's more attractive. Everybody's mobile traffic should be going up. But what statistic is really important to me, and should be to you as well, is how many clicks does it take to get to a job that you want to see? Before the brand relaunch, it was about 4 or more clicks to actually get to the job. Now it's 1 or 2 clicks and they can get to the job. Our apply clicks have gone up, our applications have increased 44%, and our applicant drop-off rate, remember it was on average 74%, our applicant drop-off rate decreased by 6% after our brand relaunch. We had a 95% increase in our talent community. So all of those people in our CRM, we have 95% more of them than we did before that are opting to receive our e-newsletters. A 61% increase in those who are actually opening it, and more people are clicking through. Not only that, but our engagement has really grown on LinkedIn. Our follower base has increased, as well as our LinkedIn career page traffic. And this is really hard to measure sometimes, the global job board apply clicks. We do work all over the world, in the Middle East and Africa and Asia, and you have to really tweak and figure out what's going to work for you in your global environments for your particular workforce. And sometimes it's very difficult to track those sources. So you need to make sure that in your CRM and in your ATS, you have your source codes for your global job boards, et cetera. But our global job board apply clicks almost doubled. So what do I want you to walk away with? you need to create a company value proposition that's going to be consistent across the board, not just for employment, but you need to own the execution of the talent acquisition piece. Marcom, corporate marketing are really good and very focused on business to consumer type marketing. They're not necessarily understanding what value your company is going to bring to a potential candidate. So I suggest you own that. I do want to mention one thing. In our relationship with Marcom, we make sure we really have a give and take. We attend their meetings. We invite them to our meetings. When we have our CRM vendor or our advertising agency come in, we invite marketing to the table so we can learn from them. And that actually helps to feed our funnel of content, because now they understand what we're trying to do. We learn from them, they learn from us. Get a seat at the table with marketing. Provide your candidate experience that offers some value and some options. You know, somebody might not be looking to walk into the mall and grab an iPhone and so thus going directly to the Apple store. Perhaps I'm going to the mall and I just feel like I need some new shoes. So I'm just gonna kind of cruise through and go looking at some shoes at different stores. I'm not looking for something very specific today. I'm looking for some shoes. In a mall, I have options. This is a journey. It is not the end. Whether you have a new brand or an old brand, wherever you are in your journey, the most important thing to remember is that it is constantly evolving. You are never done. Make sure you measure, make sure you optimize, make sure you have the flexibility in your media spend and in your planning for marketing to move your resources around as interest ebbs and flows in different parts of the world and in different media outlets. So be very flexible and enjoy the journey. Thank you very much.